Speaker of Niger State House of Assembly Adamu Usman has been impeached by 18 of 27 members, with Isa Kawu of Bida 1 state constituency elected new speaker. Activities at the State House of Assembly were halted following the sealing up of the Niger State House of Assembly complex by a combined team of police and operatives of the Department of State Services, allegedly in a bid to stop threats by members of the Assembly to impeach the state governor, Babangida Aliyu. The Assembly members, however, defied the presence of armed security men and forced their way into the Assembly complex after damaging the chain used in locking the gate. The police officer, a deputy superintendent of police DSP, however, said it was not with the keys of the gate. After about an hour, the mace arrived and the House settled down for plenary, with 19 out of the 25 members of the Assembly present. Following the absence of the Speaker, Adamu Usman, for plenary, as agreed during the executive meeting on Monday, a member of the House, Abdullahi Akwano, representing Agay constituency, drew the attention of the House to Order 8 of the House Standing Rules, which provides that in the absence of the Speaker from the House without any reason, a Speaker pro tempore be appointed to enable the proceeding of the House. Consequently, a motion was moved by the member representing Boso constituency, Usman Dada, for the appointment of a Speaker pro tempore, and this was seconded by another member. Jacob Magigana, representing Lavon constituency, added that the absence of the leadership of the House had caused them some level of embarrassment and therefore moved for the removal of the leadership. We'll be joined shortly by our correspondent Basiaye, who is right there in Niger monitoring the developments. Starring Adamu Usman, the embattled Speaker of the Niger State House of Assembly, however, has described the purported impeachment as unconstitutional, illegal, null and void, and of no effect. Briefing journalists shortly after his impeachment at the NUJ Press Center, Mina, the former Speaker, who was accompanied by his impeached deputy Abdurrahman Balagambo and all the impeached principal officers of the House, insists that he's still the Speaker of the Niger State House of Assembly. The embattled Speaker claims that the leadership of the House has done everything possible to let the executive realize that the House needs funds to keep the business of the House going. But because of the economic situation of the country, nothing has been done. Besides this, the Speaker disclosed that there was a court injunction from the State High Court signed by the Chief Judge, Justice Fatih Lamin Abubakar, restraining the defendants, 21 other members, jointly and severally from setting in motion any process of impeachment pending the determination of the motion on notice. On his reaction, the alleged impeachment threatened Governor Aliyu. Adamu says what it means now is that the governor, Muazu Babangida Aliyu, should get himself prepared because he's advised beforehand on this matter, so anything that comes out of it should be expected. Following the impeachment of the Speaker of the Niger State House of Assembly, reports reaching us says there is heavy security presence at the main entrance of the Niger State Assembly complex. Unfortunately, journalists have been barred from recording current happenings at the complex. Our correspondent Basia is on ground now, monitoring the event. Hello, Basia, can you tell us what the situation of things really is right now at the Assembly complex in Niger? Basia, are you there? I'm afraid that will bring you updates on that developing story subsequently when we can reach our correspondent there. Governors elected under the platform of the All Progressives Congress are worried about the state of the economy and want President-elect Muhammadu Buhari to do something about it as he's sworn in. They also solicited his support for an intervention fund to enable state governors clear the backlog of worker salaries. They made the appeal when they visited President-elect Buhari in Abuja.
The delegation of APC governors is a mix of incumbent state executives and incoming ones. Their mission, they say, is to deliberate with the president-elect on the high expectations of Nigerians from the incoming administration. But first, the governors expressed concern over the state of the economy, which they described as worrisome. They want the president-elect to quickly rescue the situation when he assumes office on May 29.
We do know that corruption has been one of the major factors leading to this situation we find ourselves. And your stand on anti-corruption is one that has given you this vision. We hope your coming will correct all these ills and we have a new, stronger economy of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. As soon as you are sworn in, you have one major issue to tackle. That is the issue of payment of salaries at the state level. At state level and federal level.
The governors expressed their willingness to work with the incoming president, but also want him to carry them along. They are also worried about the unity of the country, which they say is paramount in ensuring a prosperous nation.
So the greatest partners in this movement are the governors of the various states. And we kindly request that we should be carried along in major decision making. And I'm happy our national chairman is here listening. That we should be carried along in major decision making. And so we can contribute the feelings of our people from the various states.
For his part, the president-elect says his first priority is the unity of the country. He also promised to come up with ideas that will improve the economy.
Gentlemen, we really deserve cooperation with the answer that we are here. And we emphasize the problem ahead of us. We have to continue to seek the support of understanding of our constituency so that they will give us the chance to quickly do as much as we can to stabilize the security and the economy of the country.
The president-elect also called on Nigerians not to expect magic from the incoming administration, but rather they should join hands with his administration to build a better Nigeria for all. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
A double amputee is embarking on a trek from Kaduna to Abuja to meet with President-elect Muhammadu Buhari. Musa Ibrahim told CoreTV News shortly after takeoff that he decided on the long trek to draw attention to the plight of physically challenged Nigerians. Amina Nebi has more in this report presented from our studio.
This man is trekking from Kaduna to Abuja, just like Sulaiman Kashimu, who recently spent 19 days walking from Lagos to Abuja. But unlike the Lagos trekker, 30-year-old Musa Muhammad is a double amputee. He has opted to trek to Abuja from Kaduna to deliver a message to the president-elect on the need to consider physically challenged persons for political appointment.
We want you to deliver this letter to our humble president-elect, congratulating him on his new position.
He also hopes that the incoming government will do better than the outgoing one in the area of employment for disabled persons.
I'm trying to appreciate what Allah has done for us by giving us a new set of government from the state up to the national level, for giving us Nasir El-Rufai as Kaduna State Governor-elect and President-elect as Muhammadu Buhari.
Asked how he hopes to cope during the exercise, Musa had this to say.
President-elect has made a promise to eradicate corruption and stabilize the economy, but it can only succeed if we support him.
He plans to get to Abuja in 5 days and hopefully have a one-on-one section with the President-elect Muhammadu Buhari on the plight of physically challenged Nigerians.
President Goodluck Jonathan is to commission the multi-billion naira Umar Musa Yaradua Expressway, otherwise known as Airport Road, and the Murtala Mohammed Expressway Kubwa on Thursday. Federal Capital Territory Minister Bala Mohammed, who disclosed this, said this would showcase the transformation agenda of the federal government. The minister revealed that the commissioning is to take place at Lube Interchange along the Umar Musa Yaradua Expressway. He added that President Jonathan also plans to inspect the ongoing Abuja Light Rail project. Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola says his administration will continue to explore ways of providing homegrown solutions to developmental challenges. Fashola said that these are the commissioning of the Lagos Court of Arbitration at the Tiosa local government area of the state. Abiola Oluwole has the details in this report presented from our studios.
I come to the state normally commission and dedicate the Lagos Court of Arbitration Center for Arbitration and Dispute Resolution.
The Court of Arbitration Center, according to Governor Fashola, will provide a neutral alternative dispute resolution arising from commercial activities in the state and West African sub-region. Fashola reiterated that the International Arbitration Center is part of the initiative of his administration at fast-tracking desirable solution to dispute resolution.
We will dedicate this facility to the cause of parties and to the pursuit of durable solutions achieved through the full power of equity.
He, however, disclosed that the court will be handed over to the private sector for effective management.
Is that it will be handed over to the Lagos Court of Arbitration, totally run by private sector, delivered. Government has done its bit now, so this baby must run on its own steam.
The Executive Secretary of the Court of Arbitration, Mega Justice, says the court is set with all consideration to be independent. After the commissioning of the Court of Arbitration, Fashola proceeded to hand over 5 stations in Lekki Phase 2 and Family Park and Canopy Walkway at the Nigerian Conservation Foundation Center, also in Lekki.
We'll take a break now, and I'll be back with more stories. Don't go away.
One continent, 54 countries, over 2,000 languages, but united with similar interests. As news breaks, we give you in-depth analysis around Africa every Monday on CoreTV News.
Welcome back. You can get all of our top stories on any of our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. Our Twitter handle is at CoreTV News NG. We'll stream live on YouTube. It's youtube.com/CoreTV, leave a space at news. First International Summit on Digital Broadcasting in Nigeria and the 64th General Assembly of the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria is holding currently in Abuja. The Director General of the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, Emeka Mba, says the June deadline for total switch to the digital platform is no longer feasible. We'll give you more details in our subsequent bulletins. The federal government has now set aside 145 billion naira for food subsidy in the 2015 budget. This, according to Finance Minister Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, is contrary to reports that there is no provision for subsidy payment in the spending plan. She made this clarification while giving a breakdown of the 2015 budget in Abuja. The minister also insisted that the Nigerian economy is more stable than those of many oil-producing countries in the world in spite of the global oil slump. The House of Representatives has rejected calls for a total removal of subsidy on petroleum products. This follows the failure of a motion by a lawmaker from Kogi State, Karimi Sunday, who believes the perennial food scarcity would end if government remove subsidy provision. Representative Sunday had argued that only a few persons enjoy the subsidy and wanted the industry fully liberalized to allow investors import products on their own without waiting to abuse the subsidy regime. But when Deputy Speaker Emeka Ihedioha put the motion to vote, it was defeated in a majority voice vote. Meanwhile, the nationwide food scarcity is biting harder on Ekiti residents. Despite the fund released by the federal government, retail marketers in Ekiti State says the impact of this cannot be felt as the problem of scarcity may linger further than expected. Rashid has more in this report from Ado Ekiti.
The current situation of fuel scarcity witnessed across the country has not exempted Ado Ekiti. Long queues are noticeable at major fuel stations as residents strive to get the scarce commodity, and in the event of not being able to buy at the pump, they will resort to the mercy of black market sellers who cash in on the situation to make bumper sales. The people did not hide their displeasure at the situation as they frantically asked for the government's intervention.
It hasn't been that easy. Imagine somebody going to the office, leaving the office to come and queue for several hours. How productive will such an individual be? And is it not affecting our economy? I'm only praying that the federal government should do something about it, and very urgent.
It's unbearable. This fuel scarcity is unbearable. In fact, the price we are even though buying it, we never even though see the fuel at all.
With the release of funds to independent marketers, retail marketers speaking with CoreTV in Ado Ekiti said the government's intervention may not pay off so soon as the fund was released for bulk marketers alone.
This petroleum sector, before it regularize, it will take at least 3, 4, 5 or 1 week before it could regularize. Therefore, you know, this scarcity went for about 1 week. Before things can take back to shape, we should be expecting at least 2 weeks.
With the fuel scarcity lingering on, it is hoped that the situation will come to an end in earnest as Nigerians bear the brunt the most. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado-Ekiti.
Following years of turbulent relationship with Plateau workers, speculations depict that the Plateau State Governor, Jonah Jang, will hand over with the public service workers still on strike. This assertion becomes obvious as the organized labor unions in the state have embarked on an indefinite strike now to push home their demands for salary payment and minimum wage, amongst others. The heads of the Nigeria Labour Congress, the Nigeria Union of Teachers and the National Union of Local Government Employees all bear their minds in total support of the ongoing industrial action. A Plateau State correspondent has more in this report. In 2012, Plateau State local government employees embarked on a 6-month strike. Also, the staff of the various state tertiary institutions have been in and out of strikes more than thrice since last year. And now the entire workforce of the state have stayed off work to protest what it terms inhuman treatment by the Jonah Jang administration, citing continuous refusal to pay salaries and other entitlements as major reasons for the industrial action.
Commenced an indefinite strike today, as you are aware, and it's a total shutdown of public sector of Plateau State. Workers under the state government, local government, primary school education, secondary school education, we shut our services down. But government is unable to meet up with our demands. And these issues date back to 2011, lack of implementation of minimum wage, lack of payment of salary, pension, gratuity, lack of promotion. So many of them, these just a few among others. That's why we give them the necessary notices from last year to today. They are unable to meet up our demands. So we have no option rather to embark on this indefinite strike today.
Now, the state chairman of Nigerian Union of Teachers, Gushin Yarlings, claims workers in the state have never had it this bad. He accused the state governor of using the biometric verification exercise to stop the salaries of more than half of the teachers in the state, and that even those who were verified have been denied their wages for more than 14 months. He therefore called on his over 18,000 members to adhere strictly to the conditions of the strike action.
I said Nigerian Union of Teachers, with the biometric data capturing, currently those that have been captured, which we can assure you that they are teachers, they are about 18,000 plus. And then we still have 4,000 on the ground, including religious instructors that are yet to be captured. So without these people being captured and their salaries being paid, I don't think we will have our 2 eyes to sleep until it is over. If not, we will still continue with the battle.
Okay, now,
on a spot, the state head of the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees, NOGE, Comrade Mufayai, says the workers have been asking for the strike action to commence and are elated that the leadership of the various unions have finally agreed to take the bull by the horns.
Very, very satisfied. We are fighting for their rights. Ordinarily, if it were just for the union leaders, we wouldn't do what we are doing. We are not enjoying it, but we have to do it. It's an obligation. So we have to do it. Our members have complied 100%. In fact, they have been waiting and wishing to see this day. The day has come. And I want to assure you, you can go around the local governments and see the level of compliance.
The Senate has mandated its committees on defense and army to investigate the circumstance behind a recent attack on some communities in Plateau State that left over 80 persons dead. This was on the basis of a motion moved by Senator Victor La, who represents Plateau South in the Senate. Deputy Senate President Ike Kweramadu issued the order after listening to the gory picture of death and destruction painted by the senator. Law had claimed that the attackers, who destroyed at least 5 villages, were dressed in outfits that looked like that of the Nigerian army.
Their operations tended to imply that they were not genuine Nigerian army personnel because they used matches to hack down people. They shot at and killed women and children. They killed men, uniformed policemen, and civil defense personnel. They burned down every and any house within reach, and they used petrol to burn the bodies of the victims that they killed. The essence of making this explanation, Mr. President, is that when our brothers and sisters in the Northeast were under the heavy yoke of insurgency, and there were operations that tended to imply that it was either the army or Boko Haram, this Senate took the wise decision of listening and sending a committee to investigate and reporting.
Our prayer is that we should see to the end of this insurgency in any form, whether it is military, armed militia, or insurgency, or any kind of unfortunate attack on ordinary citizens. We condemn it and hope that it will come to an end as short as possible time. Since we are not sure whether this operation came from the armed forces or insurgents or armed militia, let me quickly suggest that the Committee on Defense should contact the Military High Command to verify the identity of those who carried out this attack.
The All Progressives Congress Party may be heading for a brick wall a few weeks before it takes over the mantle of leadership if it fails to consider equitable distribution in its choice of appointment among the 6 geopolitical zones that make up Nigeria. A group from the South-South Equity Forum at the media's briefing in Benin has called on the President-elect Muhammadu Buhari to reflect federal character of Nigeria and the need to promote national unity in line with the 1999 Constitution. Our correspondent has more this update from Benin.
Addressing newsmen, the group through its spokesman Harrison Omagbon says the speakership position be ceded to the South-South region. He said for equity's sake and for the continued adherence to the federal character principle, the position should be for the South-South.
The Southwest and Northwest already have the position of President and Vice President respectively. It is only fair and just, and as a matter of necessity, if the Senate presidency goes to either the Northeast or North Central. The speakership should go to the South-South. While the Southwest has a vice president, invariably the speakership should come from the South-South, since the Southeast has no ranking member.
The group said the APC as a party cannot afford the crisis that will arise from the mismanagement of a victory, which was why the PDP lost in the last election across the country. The group, which had its representatives mainly from Edo State, had no single coordinator from the state in the South-South in attendance, which claimed, just as the appeal to the president-elect, the leadership of the APC to be on the side of the fair play, equity and justice.
Party leaders in the United Kingdom and candidates are making a last-ditch grab for votes on the final day of campaigning before the general polls open. Prime Minister David Cameron says the country was stronger than it was 5 years ago, but there was more to do. Ed Miliband urged people to vote to reward hard work in the country again, while Nick Clegg says the Lib Dems would offer stability and decency. Polls suggest no party will win enough seats for an outright majority. Reports say the politicians, pollsters and the media were struggling to read the election, leading many to focus on what might happen if there is an uncertain result. The main party leaders have been crisscrossing the country in their battle buses as they attempt to drum up support ahead Thursday's poll. After starting the day in South Wales, Cameroon is heading to Northwest England, Scotland and Midlands, while Miliband is visiting Conservative-held marginal seats in the north of England. Clegg Sosetta from Land's End on Tuesday is heading to John O'Groats through Scottish constituencies. His party is open to retain. And that wraps it this hour on CoreTV News. Do join us again at the top of the hour for more stories. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Thanks for being there.